do have a mayor's recognition and announcement, a presentation of a proclamation recognizing the week of October 1st, 2023 as Banned Books Week. And Councilmember Albin-Smith has agreed to read that proclamation for us.
Thank you so much. This is Banned Books Week, week of October 1st, 2023. Whereas the freedom to read is essential to our democracy and reading is amongst our greatest freedoms. And whereas privacy is essential to the exercise of that freedom, and the right to privacy is the right to open inquiry without having the subject of one's interest examined or scrutinized by others. And whereas some individuals, groups, and public authorities work to remove or limit access to reading materials, to censor content in schools, to label controversial views, to distribute lists of objectionable books or authors, and to purge libraries of materials reflecting the diversity of society. And whereas both governmental intimidation and the fear of censorship cause authors who seek and avoid controversy to practice self-censorship, thus limiting our access to new ideas. And whereas every sentencing of a heresy, every enforcement of an orthodoxy diminishes the toughness and resilience of American society and leaves it less able to deal with controversy and difference. And whereas Americans still favor free enterprise in ideas and expression, and can be trusted to exercise critical judgment, to recognize propaganda and misinformation, and to make their own decisions about what they read and believe, and to exercise the responsibilities that accompany this freedom. And whereas intellectual freedom is essential to the preservation of a free society and a creative culture, and whereas conformity limits the range and variety of inquiry and expression on which our democracy and our culture depend. And whereas the American Library Association's Banned Books Week, celebrating the freedom to read, is observed during the last week of September each year as a reminder to Americans not to take their precious freedom for granted. And whereas Banned Books Week celebrates the freedom to choose or the freedom to express one's opinion, even if that opinion might be considered unorthodox or unpopular, and stresses the importance of ensuring the ability of those unorthodox or unpopular viewpoints to all who wish to read them now. Therefore, let it be resolved that I, Tess Albin-Smith, a City Council member of the City of Fort Bragg, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 1st, 2023 as Banned Books Week. And I believe we have Carolyn Schneider and Dan Hess here. Would you please introduce the subject of Banned Books Week for those who don't know what it is, and maybe give one or two of your favorite banned books?
Okay, first I have some handouts. I would give that to Banned Books Week is to remind us of all the books that have been banned. It's not teaching us how to ban them, but it's to make sure that we're aware of things that are taken away from us or we don't even know about. Some of the books that are banned are ones that we might have read, like Catcher in the Rye might have been an underground book for me when I was in high school, but now is required reading, and in some school districts, it's been banned. Charlotte's Web has been banned because it had talking animals, which pretty much takes care of a lot of children's books, but also it talked about death. And so there's a lot of the books that have been banned are banned because they talk about sex, they talk about death, They talk about depression. They talk about, for instance, a lot of some YA young adult books talk about kids thinking about suicide or have committed it. And these are subjects that are hard, but also it's not like kids don't know about these things. And it gives everybody sort of a chance to see themselves in various ways. This year, probably more than, I think 33% more books have been banned than in the past. So, and I can tell you, I think it'll be next week, Banned Books Week, that Governor Newsom will be signing a bill to ban book banning, just like Illinois. Illinois has done the same thing. So yay. So, because, and some of that came out of, in Temecula, the school board didn't want a book that mentioned Harvey Milk, who was gay and out, and also the city council in San Francisco. And in addition, let's see, put on my glasses. I think it was Huntington Beach City Council wanted to ban any books that had anything to do with sex or LGBTQ issues, and wanted the public libraries to take them out. Much of the banning is school libraries, but this was going to take them away from public libraries. So there's just so many surprising books that are you don't know are being banned, or we might not think, oh, yeah, why would anyone ban this? But people become afraid, and they're afraid that others will learn things that will somehow harm them. And a lot of times they're talking about kids or teenagers, but adult books too, like Great Gatsby, banned in some places. Let's see, Brave New World, which we're in now, in 1984. Maybe I could say the same thing. So I just want to thank you for that incredibly gorgeous proclamation. It was really heartfelt, and I really appreciate it, because the library is where you get all these books. The library is where you get all this information, where you get ideas, where you get support for talking about ideas, as long as it's not too loud. So I just thank you. Thank you very much. And now Dan Hess of the library. Thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you. And Carolyn is a great advocate for the library, and she's on your representative on the Library Advisory Board, Mendocino County Library Advisory Board. I'm the librarian of Fort Bragg, branch librarian. I was asked to talk a little about the expansion project, but I think I'm going to tailor it to the Banned Books Week theme. So our library expansion project is dedicated to our growing community. And we are growing, as you know, from Neighborhood Night Out and the CV Star Halloween, which are immense groups. And a lot of these kids and families come to the library now. Our library just came up with its vision and values. I'd like to just say our vision is an informed, connected, inclusive, and creative community where opportunities for discovery are celebrated. Values are equity, inclusion, free access to information, serving others, and social justice. Each area of service, kids, youth, and adults, needs more space, more books, and increased programs. We'd like to better serve teens with a dedicated teen space and study rooms for team projects. On Banned Books Week, I like to focus on the teens' need for self-expression. I want to recommend a banned book, Speak, by Lori House Anderson. Speak was the fourth most banned book in the United States in 2020 and removed from classrooms and libraries in school 6 separate times in 2021, 2022. I'm sure it's on the list this year too. And here's a quote from the book. When people don't express themselves, they die one piece at a time. You'd be shocked at how many adults are really dead inside, walking through their days with no idea who they are. In the book, a freshman girl named Melinda Sordino is raped by a senior at a class party. She calls the police, but doesn't have the courage to accuse her assailant. In high school then, when she starts as a 10th grader, she is ostracized for ruining that class party. The police were called and the party was disbanded. Melinda develops a form of selective mutism, a symptom of PTSD. A free-spirited art teacher, Mr. Freeman, believes in her and listens for her voice. You're a good kid. I think you have a lot to say. I'd like to hear it. So slowly, as she was in her art class, she was doing a lot of art projects. She also developed the ability to speak again. And this story was based on Lori Halse Anderson's own life, where she was raped before she went into high school. It was important for her story to be told and for her voice to stay strong and clear on library shelves. I'll close with a quote from the book, from the girl Melinda as the silence is falling away. The tears dissolve the last block of ice in my throat. I feel the frozen stillness melt down through the inside of me, dripping shards of ice that vanish in a puddle of sunlight on the stained floor. Words float up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again for what you
Means a
do.
lot that you support this.
I noted Huck Finn is on that list, and Brave New World, and some of my To Kill a Mockingbird, some of my favorite books. But amazing.
I'm willing to bet Fahrenheit 451's on that list too.
Thanks so much to both of you for coming in. And thanks, Councilmember Albin-Smith, for reading that.